Hey guys, Hunter here with Foundation Disc Golf, and in today's video we're going to be doing a form critique. Now this is something that we're starting up as an exclusive benefit of being Patreon with us. So if you want to join that, the link is in the description below. It's $5 a month currently. Get you access to a ton of stuff, one of which is the ability to send us your form to critique, to kind of show an example of what that looks like. Today we're going to be I'm going to be going over the co-owners, Zach's form, and then at the end of the video we'll come back and I'll give some drills for anyone that has the same issues he does with his form, as well as Zach, to fix those issues and get you throwing farther and more consistent. So let's jump over to the form video. So he shot two different angles. One's going to be this more straight on angle and the other's behind him. And so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play it here. Alright. Okay, cool. So there's a few things I see here. Up to this point, everything's pretty good. Here, he's in a decent position when his front foot plants. Now, this is where everything kind of starts messing up a little bit. We see two things that are pretty obvious. One, we'll stop right here. He's not compact, right? So his left arm he has out wide. That's a little bit more surface area, and it's kind of causing the issue that we're going to talk about here in a second. But yeah, you want that arm down by your side. Paul, if you look at his form, actually pushes it like across his body a little bit more. Having it out wide doesn't allow you to get into the proper motion to start the rotation, which if you look at the rotation here, it all is started with his pull through, right? His arm it all starts at the same time and his arm moves a lot faster than his lower body. What you want to see happening is in this position where his arm is starting to come through, and so he's about here. Let me make sure y'all can see me what I'm doing here. So he's about here, right? When he's in this position with his arm here, you want your shoulders to be here. What that is that's your hips leading you, not your arm leading you. Because as we kind of go forward here, you'll see his arm gets ahead of the rest of his body. Because right here, you'll never see a pro in this position, right? You'll never see a pro that throws far with their arm in front. When their arm is in this position here, their shoulders are about here, whereas his are wide open. So what's causing that is all this initial pull right here. His weight transfer is good. His, pretty much everything lower body from his knees down, we'll say, his footwork and everything looks good. His reach back, it gets into the right position at a good time. It looks like he's in a good position as far as his reach back goes. But one thing you'll notice here is because his body doesn't come through first and he doesn't lead with his hips, his arm has to come out in order to throw the disc. So his disc from here on is no longer on the intended flight path. You see what I'm saying? So it's straight off the flight path, and then depending on, technically about right here would have been released dead on the straight line. So that's why you want to turn your shoulders a little bit sooner, because that allows the disc to be coming through on a straight line, and you turn your shoulders as it comes through to keep it on that straight line. So yeah, let's go ahead and switch over to the back view and see if there's anything else, and then what we'll do is we'll get into some drills to do to kind of fix these issues. So yeah, this is a back view of his form. What I'm imagining is from this view we won't really see too much different. It looked like his reach back was straight, but the back view can kind of show you if your reach back's off or anything. Okay. So one thing I will say that's really good, his hips, when he reaches out, his hips are turned fully back. His feet are staggered a pretty good amount that allows his hips to turn all the way back. So, I mean, those are some good things. But yeah, so here's what I'm talking about, right? From here, what you'd want to see is his left arm that's up right now. His left arm just stays up. You see that? So what you'd want to see is his left arm come down next to his left leg, almost inner thigh, middle to outer thigh, somewhere in there. Just straight down. That's going to initiate his lower hips turning, which should start the pull through. So here, we should be looking at his left arm being down by his side and his shoulders almost being straight on at this point in the throw. Because what you'll see from here is right there, now the disc is offline, right? So the disc is on a straight line there all the way till there. Now it starts coming offline, and we see it pulls back and flips over to be back online. But, you know, if that was a hyzer release, that's going to be a solid, you know, a few inches offline, but that's a pretty big difference depending on how far your target is. Everything else, I mean, his bracing, he looks like he stops all of his weight and has good balance, you know. It doesn't look like he's falling forward. It looks more like once he lands, he just kind of goes forward. It looks like most of his momentum stops on that front foot, which you want to see. So I think the biggest thing is just not initiating the turn with his hips, which makes him round a little bit. Because his elbow does start the pull through. You know, we see him start there, and that's in a good position. His arm is his right arm, but if his body was in a better position, this part of the throw right there wouldn't happen and wouldn't cause inconsistencies. So yeah, that's it for the initial form critique. Let's go into some drills on how to correct this and make it better. Alright, so the number one issue that we saw in Zach's form, and we also see this a lot in other players' forms, is when he throws, his arm stays up, right? It kind of comes through like this. What that does is it does two things. One, it doesn't allow your body to ever get into the correct position of your shoulders being turned because this arm's in the way. So even if your shoulders were turned and arm's still up, the disc can't get where it needs to go. So that's the first thing it does. The second thing is it kind of hinders your rotation. How a player should do it is your arm, you know, if it's up when you reach back, it's fine. But as soon as the pull through starts, your arm should be by your side and kind of pushing like towards the other side of your body to kind of start that rotation more so than your arm starting it. Because what we see when like Zach's arm starts his rotation, a lot of players' arm starts their rotation, is their arm will come through, and once you get to about this point without turning your shoulders fully, the disc has to come offline in order to be thrown, right? Because you can't, it's very unnatural to keep the disc online without your shoulders turning, then you have to break your wrist. The disc has to kind of come into your forearm, and a lot of weird stuff has to happen that shouldn't happen in a form. But by turning your body at the proper time, it allows the disc to stay on the line with your right arm doing the same motion. So Zach's right arm is correct. Everything about it's fine. It's just that his shoulders are not turning with it to allow the disc to stay on the line. So that's where the issue kind of comes in. So the first thing we're going to work on drill-wise is getting the arm by the side. So what you're going to do for this is just wear shorts with a pocket or pants with a pocket, and just put your left arm just in your pocket. Might be cut off, not sure how close the angle's cut right now, but left arm just in your pocket, right? And then just throw some standstill shots. You might want to wear shorts that you don't really like because there is a possibility that when you really torque up on this that you can sometimes rip through your pocket by accident. Really unlikely, but just kind of keep that in mind. I've heard of it happening to people. So yeah, put your left hand in your pocket and just throw a few. Then once that's comfortable, take the left hand out of your pocket and try to just put your hand flat on your side about where your pocket is and just keep your hand on your side. It's the exact same thing, but you'll notice as soon as your hand gets out of the pocket and has that freedom, when you reach back it'll want to start coming up some, and so then that's more of the mental training of my hand goes here. The pocket training is because it's going to feel so uncomfortable and you won't really be able to do it if you just keep your hand outside of the pocket at first. So put your hand in your pocket, throw 10, 15, get a little comfortable with it. Then put your hand outside the pocket and just throw a ton of standstills. Then you can start the X step just with your hand by your side. and see, you know, it'll be really uncomfortable, but it should get more and more comfortable the more you do it. And once you know that you have that down, once you can throw a standstill and feel comfortable with your hand just by your side, then it's kind of time for you to move on to the next drill. But don't do the second drill until the first drill you're really comfortable with. The second drill is you aren't going to throw the disc at first. You'll build up to throwing the disc, so you're going to have your feet ready like you're going to throw a standstill. You're going to reach back, and then you're just going to start like this. So you reach back, and then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to push your left hand down and across your body, and as that happens, you're going to shift your weight to your front foot. So you're going to push, shift, and then start turning, and you'll realize that your pull through will naturally start, right? Because if I keep my hand straight and I do this motion, it's really hard for me to keep this arm straight. So what should happen, and if it doesn't, what you should make happen, is as you do this, your elbow should break, right? So you do this, elbow breaks, and it allows you to get into the proper position to where if you were to finish this throw, your disc would stay on the line, you'd have the right snap, your weight transfer is already good to just throw the disc. So you're going to do this just multiple times. This you can do inside, outside, wherever the heck you want to be, because you're not throwing the disc right now, right? This is something just to get comfortable with it, and then we'll throw the disc in a second. But yeah, so just reach back and then just hit like that over and over, because that's how you want to start it. So that's getting into your mind what it's going to feel like when you properly start your throwing motion. Once you have that down, you feel pretty comfortable with it, you feel like you're doing it right, the disc should kind of be on, slightly in front or slightly trailing, just somewhere in this region of your left shoulder. Paul's a little bit behind. I've seen some players right on their pec. That doesn't really matter as long as it's about in this region when you're here, when you're like slowly opening, because the disc is going to come through as you open to allow you to get into that position to throw. So once you have that down, then it's time to kind of implement this into a throw. So it's going to be the exact same drill we just did, but you're throwing this time. So you're going to start with the standstill. I can't throw because I'm inside, but you'll get what I'm saying. You're going to reach back, and you're just going to kind of pause here. Okay, so you're pausing the reach back, and then you're just going to start it like that. So you're going to pause on the reach back, and then start it with the drill, right? And what you'll notice is it's going to feel really uncomfortable. It's going to feel really weird. You're going to have zero control, but that's how it has to start. And once you get used to it and you get comfortable with it, then you'll realize all the consistency, the extra distance, the snap, all of that comes in because of this first motion. But when you're used to throwing like this, where the disc comes off the line, as you come through, the disc might still come off the line, and you'll be throwing way worse than you did before because your body's just not used to it yet, and that's just getting the timing down, because your arm's going to do the same thing that it already does, but it's just as your shoulders turn, it happens versus just your arm doing it whenever it wants. So yeah, so you're just going to go stand still, and then once you get just reaching back and starting it with your left arm, then you're going to add the reach back in and do it in one fluid motion like you normally would. So then you're going to start here, reach back, and as soon as you get back, the second you get fully extended, that's when your left arm goes, because that's going to fire your rest of your body to generate the snap and everything. So in Zach's case, his weight transfer was already good. So normally players who have trouble with this upper body part have trouble with the weight transfer. Zach didn't. But this drill will also teach you proper weight transfer if that's something that you struggle with. Because you'll have your weight on your left foot, and as soon as you do this to get it properly done, you'll have to transfer weight. And so this drill also kind of builds up with that. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, if this is a problem you struggle with, hopefully this fixes it. If it's not a problem you struggle with, hopefully you still learned something to work on. Again, if you're interested in having your form critiqued, the Patreon link is in the description below. It's $5 a month. You get access to exclusive content, giveaways, discounts, the post-podcast Q&As with us and whatever guest we have on that week. Trying to think what else it is. I mean, there's a bunch. It's all listed over on patreon.com. We will be doing a giveaway here shortly on Patreon, so if you're not a member of that yet, now is the time to kind of get signed up. We really appreciate all the support from you guys. The Patreon support is going straight back into funding this channel and making sure that we can continue to make these videos and continue to put money into the videos, as we're trying to keep our online store running our online store and our YouTube channel running our YouTube channel. Just makes no sense in our head. So yeah, other than that, guys, the other ways you can support us, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and be sure to check out our website. We currently have pre-orders going for the Onyx and the Zeus, but depending on when you watch this, we might have them fully dropped on our website, or they might be sold out. So, but no matter what, go check it out in the link in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time.